What's the most ridiculous reason for which you've been dumped? My ex's cat was named Ben. The girl I was dating's cat was named Bundles. One day, I called Bundles Ben. She asked me what I just called her cat. I thought about it, and then remembered that was my ex's cat's name. I laughed and told her, and she was super unimpressed. Broke up with me the next day. And this is why I'm still surprised my husband didn't break it off when I called him my ex's name. Within the first 4 months of our relationship, I only once called my husband by my ex's name, and it was when I was extremely frustrated with him. To be honest, I think he wasn't upset because I was associating the way I felt angry with my ex more than with him. I introduced my girlfriend, now wife of 13 years, to my parents and called her my ex's name. Reading many of these makes me realize how lucky I got, haha. Share this before here, but this has and will always take the cake for me. College GF Sad won $1 million in the state lottery over winter break. Broke up with me over the phone, telling me, now that I'm rich, I can't afford to date regular people like you. That's really the only thing wrong. You're just regular. But that doesn't make you rich, unless you use it wisely. Most people who have won the lottery go bankrupt later, because they don't know how to handle large sums of money. There are also cases where lottery winners are killed, targeted by robbers, sued, and many other things happening, though mismanaging money is probably the most common way people lose their wealth. Also, her dad had $1 million. She didn't have shit. She found out the truck I was driving was owned by my mom. Guess it was a dump truck. Lol, that's great to have some gold. Wait, so she dumped you because you drove a truck owned by your mom? What? Yup. She thought that because my mom was helping me I was a broke loser. I was 18 and worked part-time at fucking Burger King. What did she expect? Well, at least you dodged a bullet there. Made a girl smile too much. She had braces and it cut up the inside of her mouth. All she has to do is put wax on her braces. It's not even difficult to get. Wax is standard when it comes to braces. I was dating a guy whose parents didn't like me. It was a long-distance relationship, and so we mostly chatted online but also made occasional phone calls. So we were talking on the phone, and at one point I said, "You shouldn't have to choose between me and your parents." The conversation continued. We decided to break up. We stayed friends. Something like 10 years later, we were talking online when the subject of our breakup came up. Turns out he thought I had said, "You should have to choose between me and your parents," and decided that he wasn't going to do that. I would never give someone that kind of ultimatum. That would be ridiculous. It blew my mind that a single misheard word caused us to break up. And we didn't realize it for 10 years. I was dating a girl in college. After a month or so I told her that I loved hanging out. We were out somewhere and she looked at me funny but smiled and we carried on with the date. Not long after she suddenly has issues meeting up and I eventually hear through a friend of hers she doesn't think it'll work out. I decide not to pursue the issue even though I thought things were going great. Roll on 6 odd years later. Bump into each other. Long conversation late, it turns out she thought I had said I loved her and she thought it was all too soon and panicked, etc. So could have all be averted if we had a conversation about it, but never mind. Contraction words are deadly. The girl told me she thought this boy who she had a crush on for a long time was gonna ask her out. She said this to me. Her then BF. That's insane. Almost don't want to believe that they weren't just trying to lie to you to get away. Honestly, I dumped a guy that way before. I was 15. He was 22. It was a primarily online relationship, but we didn't live far from each other and we planned to meet. I genuinely thought I loved him for a time. But our conversations were either horny or him saying sad stuff about himself and me reassuring him all the time. It was emotionally exhausting and I was already suffering with my own depression from before being with him. Then I found out a boy my own age, who went to my school, who I'd had a crush on for literally years, might like me, and I started talking to him. I didn't even have confirmation that he liked me. It was literally just my friend saying they catch him looking at me sometimes. We were purely friendly at this point, but talking to him was always pleasant and fun and made me feel good. When I realized that my heart sank every time I saw my boyfriend was online, meaning I'd have to talk to him and listen to him call himself names and shit, I knew I had to end it. But beyond that, I didn't want to cheat on him and start building something new with this other dude while still being with him. So I told him, and I was honest, and said that I wanted to take a chance with this other guy my own age. I don't really feel bad about it either. What else could I have done? Stay in a depressing, emotionally draining relationship? Stay with him but cheat so I could feel happy sometimes? No. I was 15. 12 years later and I'm married to the guy that first let him for. One of my exes dumped me saying that he wanted to be like Paul from the Bible. He was of course referring to Paul being single and abstinent. But the kicker is that about a month later he had a new girlfriend. Yeah, my sister went to a Bible college and it was hilarious how I just feel like God's not calling me to be in a relationship right now usually means there's someone else I'm interested in instead. Beheaded. The guy that first was dating broke up with me cause he had family problems. I was all like, I'm so sorry. I'm here if you need me. 2 days later I find out he lied and asked out one of my best friends. And she said yes. About a week later I asked him why he dumped me and he left me on read. Did you ask your best friend what was up? That's shady of both of them. I'm guessing they're not best friends anymore. Had something similar happen once. Except no excuse, I just found they had been seeing each other naked in bed, called out their shit and got called selfish, and was blamed for being angry. I'm not ready for a relationship. I thought it was a bad time to bring that up since we were engaged and had been together for almost 2 years. What the actual fuck? She didn't think she was in too deep after the first year. Apparently not. After going out with this guy for 6 months I asked him if we were dating and he immediately ghosted me. This has always been so weird to me. My friend has been dating this woman for over a year now, and they still won't call each other girlfriend, boyfriend. But this man is 39 fucking years old. It doesn't stop with these guys. It's so weird. You have to sort of slide into a relationship. You can't just ask someone on an early date, do you want to try and see if we can have a relationship? And then you're a couple until you break up. I met a woman from Thailand when I was 23, and she wouldn't even kiss me before I asked her to be my girlfriend. It seemed awkward at the time, but I actually like it a lot more. To me, it's idiotic that you fuck and share intimate details of your life, and then have to wait months and months to have the talk. I just chatted with a 36-year-old woman on my online dating who said she wants to have kids someday, but doesn't think she's ready for a boyfriend yet, red flag, and is just looking for friends. Why is she on a dating site for friends? Not me, but one of my friends who's a senior in high school got dumped by her boyfriend who she dated for almost 2 years. He dumped her because he didn't want to go to the school dance. A few days later he texted her to tell her that he wanted to get back together, but she declined. He could have just told her that he didn't want to go and still be with her, or just go to the stupid dance. That's on one episode of Malcolm in the Middle. The girlfriend finds out that Reese is trying to pick a fight with her to avoid the dance. She makes him go anyway, and dumps him right after.